Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast brought to you by LineStar Sports. Check them out on the good old Twitter at LineStar DFS and at LineStar MLB. Get the app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You will not regret it. It has all the stuff and things you'll need, the lineup optimizers, the stack tools, the value tools, the chat, everything. So go check that out. Give a rating and review to the podcast on iTunes. We'd really appreciate that. And if you'd like to watch this wonderful show, go to the LineStar YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share, all the goodies there. Lastly, you can find me on Twitter at BDentric, my co-host on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how you doing, man?
Happy May the 4th, Bubba. Yes. I'm sure you watched the Bad Batch, right, of when it came out. As did I, so very excited for that. And hey, look, the D-backs lost today. It was a real close game. They were down, they came back, and then Miami scored like 11 runs off of Ginkel in the 7th. It was ridiculous. They wound up losing, I think 9-3 was the real final. But Cole Irvin pitched a pretty damn good game tonight. Yusmeiro Petit came in for the save, so I was pretty happy about that. And Huascar Ynoa hit a bomb, and Freddie Freeman didn't. So I just, I'm sure Freddie will hit one on Wednesday. So it's just the way it works for me.
Yeah, Freeman has 2 bombs on the air, so that's impressive. I'm really mad I loved my Red Sox stack. I had Xander and everything else, like every other piece of content I discussed, but he was not my home run call because I'm a dum-dum. So that was, like, I was so angry when I thought back, I picked Franwell, who I still loved. I don't feel bad about that at all. Franwell came up in the 6th with the bases loaded and no outs, and I'm watching the game on the MLB app, and it was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball on the plate. It said in-play runs, and I'm literally going, put 4 up, put 4 up, put 4 up. I was like getting ready to tweet, but it didn't happen. But it was a fun night of baseball. A lot of offense, a lot of bad bullpens. Like the Indians came back on a bad bullpen. The Tigers came back to score 7 runs. The Brewers came back to make it a game. It was just bad bullpens everywhere, Bogman.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate bad bullpen day. Even the D-backs gave it up with the bullpen too. So, I mean, this is what we expect. We just don't expect it to all happen on one day. Yeah. You know what I mean? We expect bad bullpens. We expect failed starters to fail in relief roles, but not all in one single day. So it was a bit much. You're right about that.
And that's kind of why when we discuss things, it's like, okay, well, you're trying to attack the starter, but he's not going to go deep. So you get like 4 to 5 innings of this bullpen. Enjoy. And all it takes is one trip through the lineup, and boom goes the dynamite. So it's fun how that works. And speaking of boom goes the dynamite, we have 10 games tonight, and only 10 because it would have been 11. But St. Louis was rained out on Tuesday, and they are messing around with things on Monday. So we're not as locked in there. And the one thing I'll say, I'll probably repeat it again when we get to the Rays-Angels game, but everywhere's pointing to Ohtani. Still up in the air because he was supposed to pitch Monday, supposed to pitch Tuesday. Everything is saying he's good to go on Wednesday. But unlike at least on Tuesday, he's a hitter right now on DraftKings. He's not a pitcher, even though they're promoting him as the pitcher. And you can only play him in one. You can't play him in both. And they didn't have him anywhere on Tuesday. So just pay attention.
Right. Yeah.
It's a mess. But
I actually took down these prices when St. Louis was still in their stuff. So my prices might be off a little bit here. So we'll have to see on that.
It's all good. The gist of it will be there. The juice, the flow, all that good stuff. But let's get at it. 10 games on this slate. We'll kick it off. Milwaukee at Philadelphia. Freddie Peralta, Chase Anderson, over under 8.5. This is a good one. You got Peralta at 9K on FanDuel, 95 on DK. Chase Anderson, 78 on DK, 64 on FanDuel. Peralta's an intriguing GPP play on both sites because there's 2 elite options on this slate, and Peralta could go overlooked in Philadelphia. Do you have any interest in a guy like Freddie Peralta?
Yeah, I do. I mean, 31-7 K to walk ratio over his last 4 starts, 2 quality starts in there as well. I like him. I'm not interested in Chase Anderson, though. Only 5 innings pitched in 2 of his 5 starts. So no thanks. That's going to be a no from me, dog. So I am interested in Freddie a little bit too. I think GPPs, like you said.
Yeah, definitely. If you're making a handful of lineups, I think he's a very good pivot off of the big dogs, and there's a lot of value on this slate. So if you could even make him an SB2 if you really wanted to, and get one of the two big ones, like there's a ton of value. And we'll start with it. The Brewers are a stack I love. I kind of liked them a little on Monday, but I didn't play them because of the potential rain. Didn't go against Nola. They didn't really attack Nola. They got the bullpen. I love them against Chase Anderson on that bullpen, and they are very, very affordable on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good deals here. Jackie Bradley, very cheap on both sides. 8 for 3 or 3 for 8, excuse me, in his career against Anderson, and 2 of them bombs. So we like that. Avi Sale is 3,028. Colton Wong is 43 and 29. Like I said, my price may be a little off, but they're in that range for sure. On the Philly side, I like Alec Boehm at 34 and 26, Didi at 39 and 29, and Andrew McCutchen coming off a 2-bomb game. Let's get him to start heating up here. 37 and 29.
Yeah, Yelich back on the IL for those that are sleeping under a rock. And the scary thing is, he was out for so long. It took one game to go back to the IL. That's not going to be good, folks. So that's going to be a while. But yeah, you mentioned Wong. Like Shaw's cheap on both sides. Vogelbach, if he plays, he's 25 and 27 respectively. That's like a awesome GPP play. That's the kind of play that you can put at first base if you want to get 2 of the big pitchers on DraftKings per se. That makes life so much more fun in a GPP. Because
I like it.
Yeah, so you can go there. And then lastly, you mentioned a lot of the Phillies. I'm going to keep mentioning him because he's underpriced, and he went deep again on Tuesday. Brad Miller.
Yeah. I mean, especially with Harper riding the pine right now because of the wrist thing. So,
and there's a good chance he's out again. They said it's one of those things with Harper. He might be able to pinch hit tomorrow. Maybe he makes the lineup. Who knows? But they think he's still another game or 2 away there. So keep all that in mind. Lots of value in a game that should see some offense. Braves at the Nationals. Max Fried returning from the IL against Eric Fede, who I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop. Waiting for it. Over-under's 8.5 on this one. Fried 78 on FanDuel. He is a whopping 63 on DK. Fede 68 on DK, 72 on FanDuel. I'm kind of avoiding both pitchers here, especially Fried's first start off the IL. I'm much more interested in bats in this game.
Yeah, like you said, Fried coming off the IL, and he hasn't gone more than 5 innings in his previous 3 starts before coming off the IL, so no thanks. Betty, quality start last time out, and hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs since his first start, so he's been okay. But with Atlanta hitting, I don't think I want any pitchers here, so I'm gonna hard pass on the pitching.
Yeah, hard pass here. Eventually, Freeman's gonna get going. Acuna went deep on Tuesday. Riley's in the middle of that order now. So there's pieces. They're always expensive with Atlanta. I guess the one value, at least on DK, William Contreras, he's going to be starting pretty much every day. He's up to 3K now, but he put up 9 points on Tuesday. So I'll take that for a value catcher. Who are you targeting in this game?
Yeah, there's some good PVB data here if you're into that. Starlin Castro, 4 for 8 in his career off of Fried with a bomb, 16 for 13 for Trey Turner off of Fried with a double and a homer, 5 for 10 for Robles, who is ice cold right now with a double, but maybe he can get in there. He's also swiped a bag off of Fried before. Marcelo Zuna against Fede is 4 for 6 with a double, 3 for 6 for Albies with 2 doubles, 3 for 9 for Acuna with a homer and a double, and 3 for 7 for Austin Riley with a double. So there's some good PVB data here. And then the other guys that have been hot, I mean, Josh Harrison just keeps hitting. 35-31. Ryan Zimmerman, if he's in there, 39-28. And Yadiel Hernandez, once again, 29 and 22, kind of a free square should he be in the lineup. Like him as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping Yadiel is. I think he sat the only other time they faced a lefty, so that's my only concern. But I'm with you 100%. If he's in, I just keep playing him at his free square price. I like the Harrison. He's a nice value by hitting second. Zimmerman has him playing against lefties, so you can get an interesting Nat stack if you want to. I definitely think that's in play. And I will say, even if it's a one-off situation, I prefer Bogarts. We'll talk about him later. I'm just going to keep going to that wealth, and I'll discuss it later. But Turner's down to 47 on DK. He's 38 in FanDuel. It's still a little pricey, but 47 on DK for Turner going up against Fried and then potentially some bad bullpen. That's very appealing to me. So, because usually he's in that 5K range. So you kind of take that discount and run with it is the piece of advice I'd give on that one. All right, Houston Astros, New York Yankees. Lots of booing on national TV on Tuesday night. That was lots of fun.
Booing,
people.
Right.
Yep,
That's what we're talking about.
Yep, booing. Luis Garcia versus Jordan Montgomery, though, on Wednesday. Over-under is 9 in this one. Both these young arms have been decent this year, but I'm not really sure I'm in love with them. Garcia is 68 on FanDuel. He is 8K on DK. Montgomery's 86 on DK, 63 on FanDuel. So DK likes these guys much more than FanDuel, which is very kind of telling to me with the over-under at 9. I'm avoiding the pitchers here, Boggs.
Yeah, I mean, Luis Garcia has 5 innings pitched with 6 Ks in his 2 of his last 3 starts, which is a nice, it's a nice line to have, but I'm not throwing him out there against the Yankees. And Montgomery he's got 1 quality start in 5 so far and only had 1 strikeout in his last start. So I'm just going to pass on these 2 against each other. So no, thank you.
Yeah, the price points, especially on DK, make it tough, and they're not going quality starts on FanDuel, so it's just tough to use them both. I do like the bats, though. I kind of said it on Tuesday's show. Got a couple home runs from the Astros. They didn't really torch Herman, but Greinke, bye-bye. It just keeps happening. I think you can go back to the well on this one. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, there's some bats to have. Carlos Correa, PVB data 4 for 7 off Montgomery with a bomb. But the other guys that are hot, you can stack either side. They are expensive, though, on both sides. Jordan Alvarez, 43.35. Bregman, 48.38. Judge, Stanton, LeMahieu. LeMahieu is the highest batter on DK for some reason. He's 5,400 on DK and only 3,000 on FanDuel. So he might be a nice FanDuel buy. 42 and 26 for Urshela. As you mentioned a couple times for FanDuel, you want to buy him there. And Glaber is 48 and 28. That's $2,000 difference. So Yankees hitters cheaper on FanDuel. So I'm definitely going to look to stack them there.
Yeah, FanDuel always, even last year when the first year I really paid more attention to FanDuel because of this show, they just don't price the Yankees appropriately, and I don't get it. I guess
do you think it's that, or do you think that the Yankees get the New York tax in DK because there's so many Yankee fans that want to play them?
There's that, but at least on DK, there's like 4 or 5 teams that are expensive.
That's true.
On FanDuel, it's like there's a couple expensive teams, and it's never the Yankees.
Right.
It's confusing. Like even when they played the Orioles last week, they were cheap. So yeah,
maybe they're Mets fans that run or Red Sox fans that run FanDuel. Right.
There it makes sense. I think we're onto something here, Bogman. All right, let's head to our next game of the evening: the Detroit Tigers at the Boston Red Sox. Casey Mize, Martin Perez, over under 9 in this one. Perez is 67 on FanDuel. He's 66 on DK. Casey Mize 66 on FanDuel, 56 on DK. Hear me out. I'm not playing Casey Mize. Martin Perez in a tournament if you want to, because A is price, B, the Detroit Tigers strike out almost 39% of the time versus left-handed pitching. 39, which isn't
it 39 against right-handed pitching also, or was that 29?
It was like closer to 29-30.
Because I know the number was close that you mentioned yesterday.
I think it was 34. 34 versus righties, 39 versus lefties. This is why we target
strike out. I mean,
this is why we target them, but it gets better. Their ISO's 0.068 versus lefties, and they have a 33 WRC plus. They are just disgustingly bad.
Martin Perez has 0 quality starts.
I know he's horrible.
5 starts. He hasn't been
wouldn't
good.
play him on FanDuel.
Okay.
But as an SP2 on DK, only in tournaments. Literally, he can go 5 innings, give up 4 runs, but strike out 7 at his price point, and you're sitting pretty. So
I'm not against it. Like
I just want to bring it up because everyone else can have that same comment you have, that nasty take of Martin Perez in their mouth. I get it. I 100% get it.
Right. So it's not, I just one lineup maybe in a GPP. Just one contrarian lineup. Yeah.
There's a cheaper DK play that I like a lot more. We'll talk about. But and
also I feel like if you do that, you also got to throw in a Tiger stack lineup as well. Just so you have both sides of it.
Well, you'll get the same thing tonight because it'll happen. They'll go to the bullpen because Martin doesn't go deep, as you said.
Right.
Boston has one of the worst bullpens. Well, they've been okay this year, but we saw what happened tonight, and I wouldn't be shocked again because Detroit's just pesky and they're cheap. Right. So I get it. But I'm just wanted to mention that and have a discussion on it. What bats do you like? Because I am back on Boston because Casey Mize, as good as he can be, doesn't go deep, and we get more bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good PVB data for the Tigers against Perez here, too. 4 for 8 for Miggy with 2 doubles, 4 for 6 for Victor Reyes. So he should be in the lineup hitting 667 against Martin Perez. Jonathan Scope, 4 for 12 with a double and a homer against him. And Wilson Ramos, 3 for 8 with a double as well. I mean, Candelario has been hitting nice, and he's nice and cheap, 39.27. Nico Goodrum, 41.27. But you can pay up for the big bats here. For Bogarts, as you've mentioned, 52 and 35. JD Martinez, 53 and 42. And then Renfroe has been powering through a couple here, 32 and 24, a nice cheap option.
Yeah, I won't go through all of Xander's stats, but like if you guys get bored, just go to Fangraphs. And you don't have to do like a specific, just do the whole season. It is insane what he's doing right now. It is just ridiculous. And I don't think he's talked about enough. I really don't. Like when you look at the landscape of baseball, he is ridiculous right now. So keep playing him. And on the Tiger side, Grossman and Goodrum are cheap, and they're getting on base, stealing bags. They're producing more in fantasy than just home runs. So those are the kind of sneakier values I like to target if you're trying to look for some cheapies. Let's head to Wrigley. Dodgers, Cubs don't have a total because Wrigley. But this is our Monday matchup here. We got Walker Buehler versus Adbert Alzolay. Walker Buehler is 10,000 on FanDuel. He is 97 on DK. Alzolay is 64 on FanDuel. He is 79 on DK. I'm still not going to use Buehler yet, but Alzolay in deeper tournaments, I could see some appeal. How do you sit on these two?
I'm okay with Buehler. I mean, 4 out of 5 quality starts, 19-1 K to walk in his last 2 starts as well. So I'm okay paying up for Buehler. I don't think his price is extreme. Alzolay is a decent one too. I just don't want to play him against the Dodgers. I mean, he has 4 earned runs over his last 2 starts in 10 2/3, 13-2 K to walk. So it's been nice, but I'm not going to play him against the Dodgers.
The one thing I'll say is just see what Dodgers lineup comes out, because
that's true.
Even in their double hitter today, they had, like, I think in game 1 it was just disgusting. Like Hendricks dealt, and it wasn't that. I'm not trying to say Hendricks got lucky, but he didn't face their A lineup either. It was pretty interesting. But any bats you like, since you kind of like both pitchers? I'm kind of just a fade on this game, but what do you got?
I mean, Chris Bryant is just so super hot. Yeah. So if you want to pay up for him, he's 3 for 6 against Buehler in his career with the double as well. I mean, I would stick to guys we know are going to be in the lineup, like Baez and probably, Mookie and Turner. Other than that, Duffy has been nice and hot, but he's kind of expensive, especially on DK. Yeah. He's still cheap on FanDuel, though. Like Duffy, Marisnik, and Pollock are cheap on FanDuel. So is Matt Beattie. So if those guys are in the lineup, maybe I'd look to get them in there, but they are priced correctly for their hotness on DK and not on FanDuel.
Yep, with you there. I forgot to mention, we only have 2 kind of rainy spots to look at. We have wind blowing in Washington and Philadelphia, but we'll see how that changes. Detroit, Boston, it's wet during the day, dries up later in the day. Should be okay there. But Texas, Minnesota, very light sprinkles probably throughout the day. If we do percentage-wise, picks up like late in the game or after the game. So I think we'll be fine there too. But those are the only 2 main ones to keep an eye on for now. Right. It's been it's May and we're still dealing with weather though. So that's annoying. But we don't have a total in this Texas-Minnesota game because we have 2 lefties taking the mound. And boy, oh boy, are we stacking things up. Hyun Jung Yang is 6K on FanDuel. He is 5K on DK. Then you have Lewis Thorpe, 56 on FanDuel. He's 4K on DK. Now, I know I like Daniel Lynch the other day at 4K. I ain't playing Lewis Thorpe.
No.
I am. No. This is a stack game right here, Bogman.
Yeah. You stack either side. Is this Yang's first start? I know he's pitched before.
Yeah,
but
I'm
think
pretty
this might
sure
be
he's only been bullpen. I'm looking. He went 4 1/3 in both outings. I don't think they were starts though, because I don't remember ever discussing them on any slate we've done.
Because of course Texas,
Yep.
Texas is going to need some bullpen this year. But yeah, I mean, stack your Twins, right? Buxton, Cruz, Garver, Polanco. Stack those guys, and you can stack the other side as well. Isaac, Kiner Falefa, Solak, Gallo went. Did he go yard tonight?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, Lowe and Calhoun have both been hot as well.
Calhoun's nowhere to back-to-back games now.
Yeah, 2,700 on both as well. So very, very cheap. So I think I'm stacking either side of this game.
Yeah, Adolis Garcia went deep again on Tuesday. Like he just keeps kind of getting overlooked in all the stacks because there's so many other options. But the old adage that we've used year in and year out on DFS shows: Nelson Cruz versus a lefty at home. Just pretty much like it's one of those, like it's the Sex Panther. It's the Sex Panther. Like 70% of the time it works, or whatever it is. It's just
60% of the time it works every time.
Exactly. That's kind of how it goes with him. Buxton went deep again. So yeah, get your Twins. I think the Twins will be very popular. So that's why I think going a little the Ranger side of things is a good way to kind of differentiate. You got to pay for the Twin side, so that might help a little bit, but definitely all aboard the train on that one. I think that's going to be a fun one to go to indeed. All right, Pittsburgh at San Diego. San Diego's offense, man. I know Tatis had the day off on Tuesday, but they are cold right now.
Yeah.
We have JT Brubaker, Darvish, over under 6.5. Darvish is 11.8 on FanDuel. He's 10.2 on DK. Brubaker is 75 on FanDuel, 69 on DK. Honestly, Bogman, I love Darvish. That's a given. I think it's like there's another pitcher we're going to talk about next. It's like a 1A, 1B situation for me with these two guys. No problem either way. I think Brubaker is very much in play as well.
I think you're absolutely right on both sides. Darvish, 5 quality starts in a row, 49 to 11K to walk over his last 6 starts, over 6 starts on the year. Brubaker hasn't given up more than 3 runs in any start so far, and 2 of his last 3 were quality. And like you said, San Diego's offense is puttering right now. So I'm absolutely with you. So I don't want many bats in this game at all. 3 for 6 in his career for Victor Caratini against Brubaker with a double. That's really all the PVB data we have here. Stallings has been decently hot. Moran has been okay, just without the power recently. Profar and Grisham are also okay starts, but outside of that, I like both sides of the pitching. I don't want any hitting here.
Yeah, I want no hitting at all. I love the pitching. I'll give more of an idea of how I want to utilize the Darvish side of things after we talk about the next game. It'll kind of put that all together. But I think Brubaker is a phenomenal play in tournaments. Go look at the team splits against right-handed pitching this year. The Padres are surprisingly dreadful. Like they have hit a spell that it really stood out in a big way. So Brubaker, I like him quite a bit. And I forgot to mention in the last game, I think we need to mention it. We only need to pour one out for our boy. Kirilloff might be out for a while. So it was cool. It was cool.
A specialist with his wrist.
It was cool while it lasted. Like, it was really cool, but damn, like that was we got a good weekend out of the boy. That's about it. It was good though. All right, Cleveland at Kansas City. This is why we're going to talk about Darvish in a minute. We got Shane Bieber, Brady Singer, over under 7 in this game. Bieber's 12-2 on FanDuel, 400 more than Darvish. He's 10-4 on DK, 200 more than Darvish. You got Singer at 74 on FanDuel. He's 55 on DK. I like both pitchers, but first let's go to Bieber on this one. He's 10-4 on DK. He's 12-2 on FanDuel. Everyone's going to go to him over Darvish, I'd imagine, at least more so than Darvish. He's going to be chalkier than Darvish. To me, like I said, this is like 1A, 1B. I'm going to try to do cash lineups with both. We've talked about a ton of value. I think these are the guys I mentioned you could pair with Freddie Peralta if you want to be different. I think it's hard to really separate the two for me based on, like, I think Darvish has the better matchup, but Bieber's the better pitcher.
Right, and I'm with you. I mean, 6 for 6 quality starts for Bieber, 68 to 14 K to walk ratio. It's just absurd. And the last time they played the Royals, he struck out 12. So, really, really good numbers for him. There's also more PVB data against him, though. I mean, Andrew Benintendi, who is hitting right now, 6 for 11 in his career off of Bieber. Salvador Perez is 3 for 11 with 2 homers. Whit Merrifield is only 6 for 23, but 2 doubles and a homer as well with 2 swipes off of him. So I think because of that and because of the matchup, I'm going to lean towards Darvish to save a couple bucks. But I think it's really, really close. So I'm not going to hate either way. I'm just going to take the savings on Darvish. For Singer, only 4 earned runs over his last 3 starts with a 21 to 6 K to walk ratio over those 4. So he's been pretty solid as well. I'm just not going to put him up against Bieber.
No, but I like him as an SP2 on DK a lot because the price point, if you go back and look at his game logs, I think DK is just kind of drunk and seeing the 2 innings his last start. He had a line drive hit him in the heel when he left the game. That's what happened. And he's already pitched a side session. He's fine. Because you go to his starts prior to that, 7 innings, 6 innings. He's got the strikeouts. He's got 6 Ks in 3 straight starts prior to that. He's been very, very good. Yeah, like he's for his price point, he's very, very good against a Cleveland offense that's really not that great. Like they have so much swing and miss outside of like the Ramirez, the Fran Mills and stuff. Like you can do a lot with that. So I think Singer on DK. That's why I mentioned Martin Perez earlier. I got no problem dropping down to Singer if you need to save some cash. Like I think that's better play potentially. And then I love what you mentioned about Bieber. I think the Royals having a Royal stack is going to be fun because Bieber should be the most popular pitcher. The Royals bats are very, very hot. And we talked about it last time Bieber pitched. The White Sox have his number and the Royals have his number. I guess as much of a number as you can have on Shane Bieber.
Right.
And that makes for a fun stack.
But of course, everyone says Bieber, if any other pitcher got to pitch against, these teams, they'd be great. Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The AL Central. Yep. We know how this goes. Yep. Story.
Giolito's not having such a great year right now, is he? So
Nope. Just got done talking about him on another show. That was fun. That was painful for many reasons. But all right, let's head a couple more games. Still waiting on a total in Tampa Bay at LA because like I kind of said at the beginning, everything's pointing Ohtani. We got Ryan Yarbrough, 79 on DK. Don't know the pitcher there on DK. But then, like on FanDuel, they don't have Ryan Yarbrough there, but they have Andrew Heaney at 77. I'm pretty positive it's Ryan Yarbrough. The Angels thing's still way up in the air. But Yarborough's been kind of sketchy lately, so I'm not pitching him, and I'm intrigued with the Angels.
Yeah, Yarborough is boom or bust. 3 starts with 5 to 6 earned runs, and 3 starts with 0 or 1. He doesn't walk anyone, which is real nice. Only 6 walks on the year, 26 strikeouts. But yeah, I think I'm going to pass on both sides of the pitching here. Heaney is 2 for 5 for quality starts, 14 earned runs in 24 innings pitched, and his ERA is over 5. So if it is Heaney, no, thank you.
Because we went all in on Heaney, or I went all in on Heaney last time. Let me clarify that. So, I'm going to fade him as usual and probably stack against him. So enjoy your 7 shutout innings, everybody.
Right. Right, exactly.
You're welcome.
It's like me with the home runs. The guy I'll hit it tomorrow. Freeman will hit one tomorrow, 100%. Pujols pretty good against Yarborough. 6 for 9 in his career with 2 doubles and 2 homers. And he is 27 and 28. At least that was the price that I had.
Yep.
Mike Trout obviously hit a home run tonight. You can pay for him any single night you want. 3 for 7 with 2 doubles and a homer. So all of his 3 hits have gone for extra bases against Yarborough. Austin Meadows against Heaney is 3 for 5 with a double and a homer. Willie Adames 2 for 6 with a home run against Heaney as well. And then the other bats that are hot, like you mentioned, Walsh, Rendon. Rendon's a little banged up though, so didn't play tonight, but they didn't put him on the IL. So we'll see if he gets back out there tomorrow. Brett Phillips has been hitting a little bit. If he's in the lineup, Brandon Lau is starting to pick it up, and Manny Margot at 31 on both sides is a great value.
I love the Margot value. They've been hitting him second or third a lot lately, like at worst fifth. So he's heating up, like you said. So that's a very strong one. And then you mentioned Pujols. I love the value there. I also like the value on J Up. He's 31 on DK, 28 on FanDuel, so you can get a couple cheap pieces there. I keep mentioning the cheap pieces because we want those big pitchers. And if you can slide in a couple of these guys, mix it in with your Trouts and everything else, you can have some fun. Meadows is heating up. He went deep on Tuesday as well, so another guy to keep in the mix if you're planning ahead there. All right, last game of the night, Toronto Blue Jays, Oakland Athletics, Robbie Ray, Chris Bassett, over under 8.5. You got Bassett at 86 on FanDuel. He's 89 on DK. Robbie Ray's 8K on FanDuel. He's 72 on DK. Tell me I'm crazy for thinking Robbie Ray is a decent tournament play here.
You're absolutely not. 2 quality starts in a row and hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in any of his 4 starts so far. He still walks a lot, and the Ks are down for him a little bit, but he's been good this year. So I think I'd rather go with Bassett. I'd rather pay a little bit more. 3 quality starts in a row for him. In a 25-4 K to walk ratio in his last 3 starts. So I think I like Bassett a little bit more, especially with Cole Irvin coming in and just shutting down this hot Blue Jays this hot Blue Jays lineup. So, some of that can carry over in a road trip, and these guys can start, second guessing themselves and stuff. So, I think I like Bassett a little more, but Ray is definitely in play tonight, 100%.
Yeah, Bassett's strikeout rate keeps coming up, which is big because in the past he's more like a Kyle Hendricks type. It's kind of tough to play in fantasy.
Yeah, him and Robbie Ray have switched.
Yep, no one's going to own Bassett tonight either. No one's going to own him at all. So that's an interesting play. And then with Ray, like you mentioned, he hasn't just walked anyway the last 2 games, and that's been the key his whole career. So if he's found a way to maybe just walk 1 or 2 guys a game, that's going to be tremendous. So I think these are both interesting pitchers. I see the appeal for bats. I think I might just not worry about bats unless you're attacking Robbie Ray tonight.
Yeah, I mean, on that side, if you want to, Laureano, Chapman, Canna, Murphy, Olsen, it's like the usual suspects on both sides here. You can always play Vlad or Bo Bichette if you wanted to. Gurriel's starting to heat up a little bit, 34 and 24 as well. So that's all I'd be interested in. But I like the pitchers more than the bats. So if I'm going to this game, it's probably for a pitcher.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We don't have to play bats in every game, just a few of them. Speaking of which, we've wrapped up the 10 games, Bogman. Speaking of bats, which stacks do you like tonight?
I mean, we mentioned a couple of them here. I think Milwaukee against Philly is a pretty decent one, like you said. Boston against Detroit is a pretty solid one. Either side of Texas or Minnesota. I really like that one. So those are the stacks that I like for tonight.
Yeah, the Texas-Minnesota game, Milwaukee, Angels, Detroit's interesting with Boston, of course. And then, I don't know why, I'm just kind of, the more we talked about it, that Kansas City one's kind of appealing.
Okay.
If you're going deep, like don't make like one lineup and make it Kansas City unless you're good with donating money. Like that's fine.
Right.
But if you do, I can give you my Venmo. So we're cool. But with all that being said, home run calls of the day. None of the 3 of us got one on Tuesday. But we're back on Wednesday, as always. Bogman, myself, Ryan Humphreys, giving us your home run calls. Follow LineStar on Twitter at LineStar DFS and at LineStar MLB. They'll tweet out the home run calls of the day, retweet them. You might be one of the lucky 3 that gets drawn, and if they hit a home run, you give them free swag. So, Bogman, who is your home run call tonight?
All right. Tonight, I'm going to go with, you know what? You said it before. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go Nelson Cruz. Give me Nelly Cruz to go yard. Did I just steal yours?
Well, we're having the same one. Last year when Joe and I picked the same night, more often than not, it was actually pretty good. So Bogman and myself are both going with Nelson Cruz tonight. Bo Nelly, the boomstick at home versus the lefty. Give me Nelson Cruz finding the seats. I'm with you there. Let's do it.
Let's roll. Let's go, Nelly Cruz. Get a bomb. Come on. Get us back on the board.
Get 2 people some swag because we both picked them.
Right.
Ryan Humphreys, if you're listening, be a 3rd. Let's have some fun. Yeah, everybody likes 3. 3's better than 2. Right. But yeah, that'll wrap up our Wednesday edition. 10 games. Thursday will be a little lighter, but not bad. It's been a heavy evening schedule coming up here, but we'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Remember to follow LineStar on Twitter at LineStar MLB, at LineStar DFS, all the good stuff. Go to the App Store, subscribe, and like, and iTunes, and YouTube, and all the goodies. But until next time, good luck tonight, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar App On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to LineStarApp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.